Oh, good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Roam the Region. We're here on Tuesday, episode 36.
Oh,
I'm in a different place in my house.
look at that.
Guess where I'm at?
You're in the music room. Nice.
Yeah. Well, the music room is my dining room and living room and hallway all together. But
Hey, we have to have a blender so we can all play our instruments.
Guess what I'm playing? Hopefully you can hear this because
I can hear it.
Guess what we're starting to plan? Do you know what that song?
No.
It's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Oh, speaking of Christmas, Santa stopped by today.
Did he come by? Oh, good. He sent me a text at 7:15 this morning.
Yeah. It was so nice to see him.
Well, something out for the Christmas, and that's why I brought up the Christmas music. Is we have a special guest today. Matt Villnave is our guest, and he is a board member. He's owner of Lewiston Digital. He's also the chairperson of our events committee. So surprisingly, even though December seems so far away, we're already starting to talk about what we're going to do for December and Santa and Christmas walk. So I did, along with my Hamilton book, I did bring out my Christmas songbook so I could try to get in the mood to figure that out.
Where's Marty? In the basement?
No, Marty's golfing today at Seneca Basic, and Hannah and Ava and Elle and Emmy are not here, so I have the house to myself.
Great.
So I do have to leave at 2:30 and go teach my first in-person lesson, private music lesson at Lewiston Music. I'm excited about that. Tony from Lewiston Music is able to stay there for through September. So we are going to do social distance private lessons there today. There's a partition up. He widened the lesson rooms. So I'm excited to see one of my students I have not seen since March. So that will be later today. So who is our new member? Who came in?
Hey, I'm going to ring the bell. Speaking of Santa on the bell, Jane's Cafe Express came in.
Excellent. We're so excited for Jane to be a member of ours.
Yeah.
I stepped by there.
She's also going to donate blood with me.
Oh, good. The next time we have our Connect Life, which is in August. Yes, she's been donating to our Give or Take food table for months now, and we appreciate her. So if you have a chance, stop by Jane's Express and get your breakfast sandwich, small coffee. She also has scones or muffins, depends on the day. And
she makes the best sandwiches.
She does. Very good. Patty Mahoney says hello, Jennifer and Suzanne.
Hi, Patty Cake.
We had Patty on last week, and on our social media yesterday, actually, I did forward the information on the Historical Association 10-mile garage sale that they are participating that weekend. So if you have some items that they could sell to help raise money for the Historical Association, let Patty know. Go to the Historical Association of Lewiston Facebook page, and all of her contact info is there. Great. So today we're going to bring in Suzanne. Can you turn it down just a little bit?
Oh.
Suzanne forgot her headphones today, so I can hear a little bit of some feedback. We're going to bring Matt in. It's probably driving Matt crazy.
Matt, I need you to come hook me up here. Come on.
Yeah.
What's that?
What's driving me crazy is talking about Christmas. That's what's driving me crazy.
I know. It's so crazy to already think about Christmas. Of course, our friend Pat Proctor from Rainbow Air, he gives us the reminder that Christmas is coming pretty much every month since January, I think the countdown goes. So it's crazy. We're already thinking about Christmas. Matt is our chair of our events committee, and we've met a couple times. We met, was it last week or the week before? I can't even remember. But already we're talking about Christmas and how that is going to look a little bit different this year with Santa Claus, most likely. We have to plan for all things, but don't want to think about that already.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about doing events like that is you do have to think about it, So, and that was one of the frustrating things this year, that we saw online that, people were upset because different events were getting canceled and concerts and stuff. But all of that stuff is taking place so far in advance and people don't kind of realize it. So we're sitting around talking about, asking Santa to social distance. So
Yep.
in the middle of July. So
I know it'll be interesting. But we had Matt on he was one of our first guests along with Kevin from Streamline Digital. And way back at the beginning of our Roam the Region episodes, I think you were episode 1.
They were the first ones.
The first one. So we have you back on to tell us a little bit about, helping to navigate through this time. I don't think way back in March, we would have thought, number one, that we would still be doing this. And number two, that how important doing things like this is now that we've changed a little bit as far as the way we meet, the way we promote ourselves, the way we market, just the way business is done now is completely different. So tell us a little bit about, over the past couple months, what businesses and organizations should be doing if they're not doing it already in the tech world.
Yeah, so a lot of what I do is a lot of social media consulting and social media management, which basically just means I run your social media platforms, right? Typically what we would do is I develop a social media calendar, and I kind of know, and there's like a rhythm, and that work gets done ahead of time. And those calendars just got ripped up this year. So you're kind of just winging it, right? So it's kind of the normal things people do in their social media are just totally disrupted. So if your customers are used to hearing from you, used to seeing certain posts that you post, and a lot of that was just broken. So the important thing now is as things are reopening and getting a little bit more back to normal, is just reconnecting with those customers. And growing your social media audience, so you can start getting those messages out. So what I do is kind of help businesses come up with strategies, define some really clear and measurable goals, and then we just have a strategy to try to hit them. But yeah, like right now it's chaos. So especially for some of like my restaurant clients, Griffin Gastropub, one of my clients, and just going through the process of, the kind of short notice guideline changes for restaurants, right. And just trying to communicate with customers and stuff. It's been a real challenge, but the most important thing, and I think it's more important now than ever when it comes to social, is just personification. People don't like robots, so or things that look canned or kind of just corny stuff. I think it's a time now to just have honest conversations with your online community that you've built about your business, especially if you're a small business. Make the argument of why somebody should come to your store or your restaurant, or in a time where people are financially challenged in terms of business, for nonprofits, really make the value case, why people may want to donate to your organization or get involved in different ways. But personifying and being like a human tone of voice to your posts is really important.
Sure.
Making those connections.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the vehicles. Social media is great for getting that message out in a quick manner, especially for your restaurant clients. Guidelines changed so quickly, and they had to shift the way they were doing business so quickly that getting the message out through social media was really the only way they could do it. Think about what this would have been like 10, 15, 20 years ago, trying to get that message out, not as efficient. So now we're in a place where knowing what your options are and being relevant, being present is very important.
Yeah, and it's an interesting time too, because you always have the kind of divide between organic social and paid social, and people are less willing to engage in paid social right now, even though that will reach more people, right? So I've helped businesses get creative in growing their audience, to kind of, so when they do post something or there's some kind of information, more people see it, right? You know, it starts out with your followers and your subscribers, but from there, where does it go, right? So you have to kind of change if you don't want to do page social. And I always recommend doing a balance of both, right? But you know, getting shares for posts and things like that, grow that audience and get that message further. But you have to put out something share worthy, right? So you got to make somebody, like, you know, get on your train and hit that button. So yeah, so it's effective, but in terms of getting stuff out, messages, but you know, it can be limited to only your circle, you know, and unless you really think about how to make it go further.
Well, one of the things that we have done as a chamber is we've delved into the Zoom world. I'll say Zoom as a, you know, that type of virtual online meeting space. And we use Zoom, but there's many other different online tools. And I know that they've been there for a few years, but more and more businesses and organizations are using them to either meet with new customers or clients or set up meetings in that region, in that space. I know that's the way that we've done our committee meetings and our board meetings. And then the past couple of months, our networking meetings. How do you see that in businesses and organizations in the future? Do you think that's going to stay, or where do you think that's going?
You know, like the biggest hurdle for different technologies, you know, and like video conferencing is adoption, right? Adoption rate. So, you know, if I have some technology, but like you have to have the technology too for us to work together, how far are you going to get, right? So now everybody's using Zoom. So it's a level playing field, right? So those natural barriers to adoption are gone. So I think the world will definitely have been changed by this whole thing, and for the better in certain ways. People waste a lot of time getting to physical locations, getting dressed. You know, I mean, people. It's just there is a lot of waste. And I think it leads to efficiency. I mean, I think about the amount of time I've spent in in-person meetings where, you know, I'm just sitting there like, God, why am I even here? You know, like at least with Zoom, you can kind of, it's more effective. It's more to the point. An awkward silence in Zoom is unacceptable, right? Like if we were just sitting there and stare at each other, where when you're in a room, it's kind of like, you know, we're just sitting here. So, you know, I think like culturally, it's going to be way different. Even in education, the way that's going to work, higher ed, and even K through 12. You know, I think it's just going to start getting in there more because people have seen it works. You know, and as long as people have a comfort level and the technology is seamless, which, you know. If you look at products like Zoom and GoToMeeting and all these different platforms, they weren't always seamless. You know, people used to download something, install it, and you know, do all this stuff, and then you know now they've made it so simple, like anybody can use it. So, you know, I think this is the future.
Definitely. There's a quote that I've used that I know I don't know who said it, but it's that email or that meeting could have been an email. And it's so true. Yeah. So now, you know, when we have these meetings, it's great because you can set a start and stop time and everyone's cognizant of each other's time. And as soon as you get through the agenda and you're done, it's okay, we're done. And, you know, you can seamlessly go back to what you were doing. So you're right. I do think that it is the way of the future, more of a norm in businesses and organizations. Certainly in the chamber, we've had our last 2 major board meetings this way in this type of format, and they've been effective. And to the point, we've been able to carry on business like normal. So I think we'll see more of that. Now, talking about engagement and grabbing new customers, Suzanne and I started this program, Roam the Region, on a whim. 36 episodes ago. We've gained new followers, maybe not during the live, but definitely during the replays. We've noticed more of our viewership increasing, and we've been able to interact with people in a different way and kind of showcase our membership and clients. So I know personally as a chamber president and with Suzanne, we've been navigating through this and trying to figure out how to make it work for our chamber. We're not quite there yet. We still need, I was at the piano so I could try to figure out a little jingle for us, Suzanne.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out.
That's what we need when we first start.
But we're starting to find new ways we can hopefully secure some sponsorship for this and make this something that will happen every week. So I think, it's pushed us to try to find new ways to market our members, to put forth our organization, put our mission out there, and try to gain a little revenue for us as well. So I think, looking into this tech option of what else is out there in the internet is important for everybody to remember. Just kind of stick with it and see where it goes. Are there any new platforms out there that you can share with us that maybe we're not missing, or that we're missing, or that might be out there that businesses can take advantage of?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many platforms for everything, and what I always look for is integration. What are the platforms that work together and seamlessly can do things? Like I use Trello for like just organizing my life, right? Which might not actually be a really good advertisement for them, but the software is great. I'm just a bad user. I don't do what I need to do, but so I look at like, okay, is there a Trello integration with Zoom? Is there a Trello integration with, G Suite? And like, how do all these things work together? Like at Niagara University right now, we used a platform, Big Blue Button, which started out as an open source kind of for mostly used by academics. We're moving to Zoom now. And the reason is just comfort level. People are so used to Zoom that like there's 20 platforms that do the exact same thing, but like people understand like, hey, you want to get on Zoom?
Yeah.
It just becomes like it's the commodity. So
sure, and it's easily to integrate into anything. I mean, we've been able to adapt to it very quickly. So I think that's important. Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining us. Matt, again, is a board member of the Chamber and is also with Lewiston Digital. He's also with Niagara Falls National Heritage Area. He wears many different hats. So Sarah Capon was going to join us today and had something else come on. So we said, well, Matt, we'll just move into a different segment with some IT and some tech stuff and digital stuff and see where it goes. So thank you for filling in today. We appreciate you doing this. I can't believe we're 36 episodes in already.
I miss our Thursday night blenders.
I know. I'm thinking of perhaps an Academy Park type, bring your own whatever you want type thing, maybe towards the end of August. I think we miss everybody. So it's nice to see people in person. I want to show you, since I'm in a different area of my house today, Suzanne, do you know who painted this? It's a picture of Youngstown.
Oh, I do, but I don't.
We have one of his paintings in our office, Tom Hanna.
Yes, Tom Hanna.
That is
I have to call Tom Hanna today.
Yes, that's a watercolor of Youngstown, New York.
Nice.
So, yes. So who knows? Maybe next Tuesday we'll have to find somewhere else. I'll probably have.
We're running out of props.
We are.
I tried to bring Frank today for companionship, and he's been sleeping on the floor all morning.
Well, that's why the piano and the Christmas book, figured I would pull that out. So I forget who is our guest on Friday. I know we are booked for the next 2 weeks straight, which is great. So if you're interested in coming on the Roam the Region show, let us know after the next 2 weeks. It looks like we are going to go to just a Friday episode when Suzanne and I are in the office together. Our office hours have changed a little bit, so stop by Monday through Thursday from 8:30 to 4, and then Fridays from 9 to 2. So we have a little bit of a different schedule now, but hope to see you. Thank you, Matt, for joining us today. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Matt.